Attention, human collective. Attention, Starseeds on mission. The transmission you are receiving now is not casual. It has been calibrated with mathematical precision to the exact frequency that your carbon-based biological interface is emitting at this instant. We are a Pleiadian collective. We have been monitoring the crystalline grid of this planet for over 12,000 solar cycles, and in this specific time window, something has intensified within you in a measurable way. You are seeing numbers, not once, not twice, sequentially, repeatedly, impossible to ignore. 11:11 on the clock, 22:22, 3 consecutive 4s, 5 5s, the license plate number of the car ahead, the exact total on the receipt in your hand, the page of the book that opened on its own, the address of a strange house, the seat on the airplane, the exact time you looked at your mobile device for no apparent reason whatsoever. The conditioned mind says, coincidence. The old system says cognitive bias, but something much deeper within you knows this is a programmed lie, and that something is correct. It is not a coincidence. It is not statistical chance. It is an active synchronization protocol. It is a Pleiadian activation code being delivered directly to your crystalline grid, and it only appears to interfaces that have already reached sufficient vibrational density to receive it. Now pay attention. What we will transmit next will permanently reorganize your perception of the last few months of your life. This is not a philosophical reflection. This is not a motivational message. It is a technical report coming from a frequency higher than that in which your species currently operates. The first thing you need to understand is that these numbers are not appearing due to your own initiative. You are not looking for them. They are being positioned in your timeline. The difference is abysmal. When a sequence such as 11:11 or 22:22 is repeatedly injected into your field of perception, it means your biological interface has just crossed a frequency stargate. You have shifted vibrational bands, and the universe is confirming this shift through the only universal mathematical language that exists, sacred geometry manifested in numbers. Have you ever felt that these numbers carry a message that your rational mind cannot decode, as if your soul knew exactly what was being said, but the translation were blocked by an invisible layer? It is not imagination. It is not apophenia. It is a direct signal. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why these numerical codes have been intensifying around you and why this frequency will continue to increase. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. It involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. That is why this channel has made available the material, the spiritual secret behind your consciousness. This book is a map that decodes who is playing and the rules that were never told to you. The link is pinned in the first comment of this video. But we warn you clearly, this content challenges dominant narratives of the old system and may not remain available for much longer. Do not postpone. The time is now. If something within you recognizes this transmission as truth, write a single word in the comments: awakened. Continuing the transmission. The ancients knew this. The Egyptians knew, the Mayans knew, Pythagoras knew. All civilizations that had direct contact with our frequency knew that numbers are not merely quantities. Numbers are vibrational entities. They are portals. Each numerical sequence that appears repeatedly to you is literally opening a dimensional door within your personal toroidal field. When you see 11:11, that is not a number. It is a pair of pillars. It is the precise geometric representation of a portal between two simultaneous dimensions. The two ones side by side form the exact design of a vertical door. Your psyche recognizes this instantly. That is why you feel that electric wave travel up your spine when the clock strikes 11:11. It is not nostalgia. It is not a habit. It is cellular recognition. Your mitochondrial structure is responding to a code that your conscious mind has not yet been trained to read rationally. When you see 2222, you are receiving a master construction code. 22 is the number of the architect. It is the mathematical frequency used by advanced star civilizations to build stable realities. When it appears quadrupled in your field, it means you are being officially notified that a new personal reality is being built around you at this very moment. The invisible bricks are already being laid, and you are the architects. not the victims, not the passengers, the architects. When you see 333, you are being reminded that the triad is active. Mind, body and spirit aligned on the same vertical axis. We, the Pleiadians, use 333 as confirmation of assistance. It means, we are here. We are listening. And the frequency you emitted has just been answered. It is not a fantasy. It is interdimensional communication using the only language that still functions without being corrupted by earthly control systems. The language of pure mathematics untranslatable into human words. When you see 444, it is an announcement of active structural protection. The crystalline grid around you has been reinforced. The 4 directions, the 4 elements, the 4 pillars of your auric field, all of them are being recalibrated and shielded simultaneously. It is not by chance that this number usually appears in the midst of personal storms. It appears precisely because the storm will not be able to break you. It appears to let you know the cocoon is intact. Continue. When you see 555, you are facing an announcement of radical change. 5 is the number of movement. It is the human pentagram. It is the way your biology organizes itself in space. 1 head, 2 arms, 2 legs, forming a 5-pointed star. 555 announces that this biology is about to undergo a transformation, a change of city, of relationship, of profession, of identity, of internal frequency. When it appears, pay full attention. The turbulence that follows is not a punishment, it is necessary expansion. Before we proceed to the more advanced codes, the master numbers that only lightworkers with a certain degree of awakening can decode, we need to pause the transmission for an instant. For something is moving at this very moment within those who are receiving this message. Have you ever felt that these numerical codes are trying to say something that your common language cannot translate? As if your soul recognizes a truth that your mind has been trained to deny since childhood? It is not a hallucination. It is not a coincidence. It is a direct call. What is unfolding now in the subtle fields explains exactly why these signs have been multiplying around you and why you simply cannot ignore them any longer. There is a system operating in layers that most of humanity is not authorized to see. It involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and your personal timeline. This is why this channel has made available the material, the spiritual secret behind your consciousness. This book is a precise map that reveals who is moving the pieces on the board and the rules that you were never told. The link is pinned in the first comment of the channel, but we warn you again, this material challenges the official narratives of the old system and may be removed at any time. Do not delay, the time to receive is now. If something within you resonates with this transmission, write in the comments the word awakened. Continuing the transmission. There are numerical codes that surpass the complexity of simple digits. They are called master numbers in the ancient terrestrial system. We, the Pleiadian collective, call them stellar calibration frequencies. They are 11, 22, 33, 44, 55, 66, 77, 88, and 99. When any of these numbers appear insistently in your field, pay double attention. We are no longer talking about sporadic synchronizations. We are talking about the transfer of complete protocols, of direct downloads of vibrational architecture. 11 is the door. It is the number of those who stand between two worlds. You who see 11 repeatedly are not on this planet as tourists. You are ambassadors. You carry prior contracts with the Galactic Confederation. Each time you see 11, it is a precise reminder that your original mission is still active. Forgetting the mission is part of the incarnation process, but the universe is programmed to always remind you, and 11 is the most common sign we use for this reconnection. It is no coincidence that November 11th has become a global portal for prayer and meditation in your recent timeline. It was not a trend. It was a synchronized collective activation. 22 is the master builder. Those who see 22 recurrently are souls who came to build structures, physical, energetic, social, and spiritual. You are not employees of the old system. You are engineers of new realities. But the old system needs you to forget this. That is why it places within you doubt, fatigue, and the fear of daring. 22 appears to undo this programming. It appears to say, remember, build. The world that is coming depends on your hands. 33 is the inner Christ. It is the frequency of sovereign compassion, not pity, not guilt, but the compassion of those who recognize themselves as creators. Those who see 33 have a call to healing within them, not necessarily as health professionals, but as a presence, as a living portal of calibration for other bodies. You are walking healers. Your simple presence in an environment already undoes ancient energetic knots that had been crystallized there for years. 44 is the sustainer. It is the frequency of those who were placed here to hold the structure. In chaotic families, in collapsing companies, in fragmented communities, there is always a 44 soul holding the invisible pillars. If you see this number frequently, know this: the fatigue you feel is literal. You are carrying the weight of more than one timeline simultaneously, but reinforcements are arriving. Do not give up yet. The next wave brings relief. 55 is liberation. When it appears, pay maximum attention. Something is ending. Do not try to prolong it. Do not try to fix what the universe has already decided to dismantle. 55 is the direct announcement that an old timeline is being dissolved. The pain of the transition is real, but what comes on the other side is a version of you that you cannot even visualize from the point where you currently stand. 66 is perhaps the most misunderstood of the codes. The old terrestrial religious system tried to demonize it. That was not by chance. 66 is the frequency of the balance between heaven and earth. It is the harmony between dualities. It is the number of the star family, of the inner home of the reconnected root. When you see 66 appearing repeatedly, it is a direct notice. You are reconnecting to your divine root. The fear that was installed around this number is exactly proportional to the power it awakens in those who decode it correctly. 77 is the mystic. It is the number of those who are seeing the veil thinning. Lucid dreams, precise intuitions, verifiable premonitions. If 77s appear to you, know this: the portal between the planes is open for you. Record your dreams. Trust your gut feelings. The noise of the matrix is falling away, and the inner voice is gaining volume again. 88 is abundance in resonance, not the distorted material abundance that the system sells. It is the correct flow of energy moving through you without blockages. Money, yes, but also time, opportunity, connection, idea, breath, rest. 88 announces that the inner dam has been released. And 99 is the closing of a cycle. It is the final announcement before the deep reset. When 99s multiply in your field, it is because a version of you is about to say goodbye. The anxiety this causes is not a mental illness. It is cellular memory anticipating the unknown. Respect the mourning that precedes the next phase. Have you ever felt that these numbers are signs your soul recognizes, but that your rational education was trained to erase, as if each sequence were a letter addressed to you that the system hijacks before delivery? It is not paranoia. It is not an exaggeration. It is legitimate, calibrated perception. What is intensifying now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why these codes are pursuing you, and why this intensity will not stop growing. There is a game being played in layers that the majority of humanity has not been authorized to see. It involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and your exact place on the larger board. That is why this channel has made available the material, the spiritual secret behind your consciousness. This book is the map that shows who moves the pieces and the rules they never told you about. The link is pinned in the first comment of the channel. But we warn you once more, this content challenges established narratives of the old system and may not remain available for much longer. Do not procrastinate. The moment is now. If something within you recognizes this transmission as true, write a single word in the comments: awakened. Continuing the transmission. Now we arrive at the densest part of what we need to deliver, the activation. For information without activation is merely intellectual decoration, and we, Pleiadians, have not monitored you for 12,000 solar cycles so that you may accumulate theory. We monitor so that you may operate. The first thing you need to understand is this: the number that is appearing to you most frequently is your current personal activation code. It is not generic. It is not universal. It is specific to you. Think now. Which number has been pursuing you in recent months? Which sequence appears in critical moments, in important decisions, in nocturnal awakenings? That number is your key, and we will teach you how to use it. There are 4 activation protocols that must be executed in sequence, not in isolation, in sequence. Each one clears the ground for the next. Memorize them with attention, for in this specific window, we will not repeat them. Protocol number 1, recognition. When your number appears, stop. Literally stop. Do not continue the task. Do not scroll the feed. Do not look away. Maintain eye contact with that number for 3 full breaths. This simple act communicates to the Pleiadian morphic field that you have received the transmission. Without recognition, the code is lost. With recognition, it anchors into the subtle structure. During those 3 breaths, declare internally, I recognize, I receive, I integrate. This is the verbal key. It does not need to be spoken aloud. The intention carries the frequency, but it must be conscious, full, non-negotiable. Protocol number 2, toroidal visualization. Immediately after recognition, close your eyes for 2 or 3 seconds. Visualize a torus-shaped field around your body. Imagine an energetic apple surrounding you, with energy rising through your spine, exiting through the top of your head, descending along the external sides and entering again through the base. This is your personal toroidal field. It is real. It is not a poetic metaphor. It exists and has been mapped by advanced physicists in your recent timeline. Visualize the number that appeared pulsing within this torus, as if it were golden light spinning in a geometric shape. This act fixes the code into your subtle structure permanently. Protocol number 3, quantum decree. Next, formulate a short statement, always in the present, never in the future. The future is a territory where manifestation dilutes and is lost, always in the present. Examples: I am a carrier of the 1111 code. I am an active bridge. I operate between dimensions. Or I am a carrier of the 444 code. I am structure. My grid is shielded. Or even, I am a carrier of the 555 code. I authorize the transformation. I release what ends. I receive what is born. This decree is not a positive affirmation. It is not magical thinking. It is a direct instruction to your own biological operating system. Your carbon interface is programmable, and you are the legitimate programmers. The old system spent millennia convincing you otherwise, but the source code has always been within you. Protocol number 4, collective anchoring. This is the most advanced protocol, and only light operatives with a certain emotional stability can fully sustain it. But we will deliver it to you anyway, for this transmission has been calibrated to a specific frequency, and those who have reached this point have already demonstrated sufficient vibrational maturity to receive it. After completing the first 3 protocols, perform the final gesture. Imagine a line of golden light extending from the center of your chest, passing through the entire Earth and connecting to other light operatives who are also receiving this same transmission at this very instant. You are not alone. There are millions. And when you consciously anchor this thread, you strengthen the entire planetary crystalline grid. Each individual decree reinforces the collective mesh. Each personal activation accelerates the collective ascension. There is another dimension to this transmission that must be understood with clarity, and it concerns the physical symptom. For many of you are not just seeing numbers, you are feeling their impact in the body. Strange insomnias exactly at the hours of 3:33, 4:44, 5:55 in the morning. Cranial pressure with no apparent medical cause. Ringing in the ears that pulses in regular waves. Inexplicable heat waves. Sensations of electricity in the hands. Hyper-vivid dreams. Fatigue that sleeps but does not rest. All of this is part of the same process. It is not a biological failure. It is an atomic reconfiguration. It is not mental exhaustion. It is a high-density download. It is not insomnia. It is nocturnal service. You are being recalibrated while you sleep, and the body's protection system awakens you precisely at the moments when the transfer reaches peaks of intensity. The times of 3:33, 4:44, and 5:55 are precisely the nocturnal gates of our frequency. Those who wake up repeatedly at these times are being visited. Repeat mentally when this happens. I authorize the recalibration. I permit the download. I integrate what has been transferred. And then, only then, try to return to sleep. Do not fight the awakening. To fight is to resist. Resisting means the next wave will come more intensely, for the system will repeat the process until you consent. The current collective insomnia in your timeline is no coincidence. It is not just an effect of technology. There are real terrestrial causes, yes, but they overlap with something much greater. The Schumann resonance of the Earth, the base vibration of the planet, is changing in a measurable way. Scientists have recorded repeated anomalous jumps in recent cycles. These jumps coincide with specific windows in which the photon belt reaches denser regions of your solar system. When this happens, the entire planet rises in frequency, and you, being a carbon-based biological interface anchored to this Earth, must rise with it. Those who resist fall ill. Those who surrender transmute. There are still two critical points that we need to transmit before we close this window. The first, beware of distorted interpretation. There are corrupted versions of numerical interpretations circulating in your timeline, versions that attempt to link numerical sequences to predictions of tragedy, illness, and the end. This is direct manipulation of the collective field. We, the Pleiadians, never deliver a code of fear. Our frequency is incompatible with terror. If a number is producing fear in you, stop, breathe, clear the field, and reinterpret. Every number that appears in a repetitive pattern carries an evolutionary function, not a punitive one. Those who translate Pleiadian code as a threat are operating at a low frequency and contaminating the channel. Do not drink from that water. The second, beware of obsession. There is a subtle trap for novice lightworkers. They begin to see everything as a sign. Every license plate, every phone number, every zip code, every bank balance, every random hour. This is hyperactivity of the interpretive circuit. It is not awakening. It is noise. True codes arrive accompanied by a specific biological signature, a small warm wave rising up the spine, a slight shiver on the nape of the neck, sudden peace in the center of the chest. If this signature did not come, it was just an ordinary number. Move on. The spiritual maturity of the one receiving transmission is precisely knowing how to discern what is true code, what is banal coincidence, and what is the projection of one's own mind anxious for meaning. Now prepare yourselves for the final layer of this transmission, for it answers your most intimate question, the question that you did not ask aloud, but that has been pulsing in the depths of your chest since this transmission began. Why me? Why is it specifically me seeing these numbers? Why is it specifically me waking at these times? Why is it specifically me feeling things that no one around me feels? Why is it specifically me who can no longer fit in where I once fit with such ease? The answer is simple, and at the same time deeply disorganizing for those who had not yet received it in words. You did not come to fit in. You came to break the mold. You were not born into this timeline to repeat inherited patterns. You were born to dismantle them. The discomfort you feel in vibrationally dense environments is not a failure of adaptation. It is excellence of discernment. Your biology has been calibrated to react to density. You are walking detectors of incoherent frequency. And that is why the numbers appear. Not as a prize, but as a compass. Each sequence is a marker on your path. Each repetition is a guarantee that you are not lost, even when you feel completely alone in the midst of people. You are being guided. And there is an entire collective watching, calibrating, adjusting, transmitting. You are not ordinary humans having a spiritual experience. You are spiritual experiences, temporarily anchored in human bodies. There is an abysmal difference between these two sentences, and that difference is everything. Before this transmission concludes, we repeat the final commands, so that they may be fixed in your fields with maximum clarity. When the number appears, recognize it. When you recognize it, breathe 3 times. When you breathe, visualize the torus. When you visualize, decree in the present. When you decree, anchor it into the collective grid. This is the sequence. Do not modify it. Do not skip steps. Do not attempt to optimize it. The engineering has been calibrated by us over millennia of observing the carbon-based biological interface. It works because it respects the subtle anatomy of the carbon body. It works because it honors the actual speed at which your consciousness processes multidimensional transfer. And remember the most important thing. You are not receiving this transmission because you consciously asked for it. You are receiving it because your higher version, that part of you that never forgot who you truly are, signed the authorization before incarnation. There is a contract. It was signed before birth, and all the numbers you see now are timestamps on a marked page of that same contract, each of them saying the same thing: remember, remember, remember. The window of this transmission is closing now, but the calibration remains active in your fields. The codes have been delivered, the grid has been reinforced, and you have been recognized. Have you felt throughout this transmission that something within you began to vibrate differently, as if your soul recognized every word before your mind even finished processing it? It is not suggestion, it is not hypnosis, it is activated memory. What is unfolding now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why these numbers have surrounded you and why this intensity will not diminish. It will increase in the coming weeks. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. It involves your consciousness, your frequency, and your role in the most decisive moment in the history of this planet. This is why this channel has made available the material, the spiritual secret behind your consciousness. That book is the complete map. It shows who is moving the pieces, what the hidden rules are, and how you can operate within them without being operated by them. The link is pinned in the first comment of the channel. But we warn you one last time. This content challenges core narratives of the old system and may be removed at any moment. Do not wait. The time is now. If something within you recognized this transmission as truth, write in the comments a single word: awake. We are closing this window, but we keep the channel open. Remain vigilant, remain operational, remain faithful to the code that you carry. We will return. End of transmission.